moving in.
Fresh water. There must be a settlement somewhere nearby.
Anything of use?
Drink in the pungent corpse. Since you awoke on the ship, your mind has been cold and empty, but something stirs. With your hands close to this body, you know nothing of why, but you find a half smile flittering across your face. This feels like home. With a shake of your head, you can hear your own blood throbbing in your ears. You see flashes of flesh, all lumped together in a mass grave. No single image sticks out. As soon as you delve into your mind, it is filled with flashes of 1,000 different dead. There is something unknown and unspeakable deep within your heart. The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Shadowheart. Cleric. It is forbidden. A secret. My mission. Must keep it safe. Protect the artifact. Deliver to Baldur's Gate. Cannot. Must not. Too important. Baldur's Gate. On me. Always in reach.
Mother. It's gone. The artifact. What have you done with it?
Your mind briefly swaps with hers. You both wince in discomfort as you recognize you share the same infection.
Thank you. Though you shouldn't have had it to begin with. We've got the same problem after all. Let's try to find a solution together, before it's too late. I can't let you do that. You're alive. I'm alive. How is this possible? What are you doing? I'm alive, yes. Thank you for the concern. Well, that's honest of you. Don't do it again. I'll give you a pass this time, considering I owe you my life. And speaking of, how are we alive? The Divine tend to keep their interventions close to the chest. Though, I suppose it's not impossible. True. Seems like we're the lucky ones, judging by all the corpses strewn about. I remember the ship. I remember falling. Then nothing. She must have run off without us. Seems like I'm more reliable than your own people. You might want to reconsider calling her a friend. Looks like she ran off without us. You're more concerned for her than she is for you, clearly. We need to take care of ourselves. First things first, we need supplies, shelter, and most of all, a healer. We might have escaped, but we still have these little monsters in our heads. No, I don't recognize this place. But anything's an improvement on where we just came from. Wait! Charging off by yourself sounds like a fine way to get killed. We need each other, and we both know what's at stake. Can't think of better company. One thing, just before we go. I wanted to thank you again for freeing me. It would have been all too easy for you to run right past my pod, but you didn't. I'll remember that. Lead the way. You sure about that? Neither of us knows what lies ahead. Perhaps we'll meet again. If you survive, that is. Something the matter? There's no story. None that you're entitled to hear, anyway. Just forget you ever saw it. I understand why you ask, but memory loss is not as uncommon as you'd think. There may be other causes. We haven't gone all that far yet. What are you referring to exactly? Must I? Thinking about it won't help. We know what to do, so let's do it. Find a way to rid ourselves of these things. We've no solid leads right now, though. We'd best get hunting. If you discover anything that might help us, I'm all ears. I suppose we'd go our separate ways. Not a slight on your company, of course. Perhaps. Perhaps not. If we do survive, we'll have separate lives to return to. I need to get to Baldur's Gate. Home. Baldur's Gate. There's someone waiting for me there. Someone I have to reach. As soon as possible. Let's just say it's a very personal, very private acquaintance. Thank you. And you're right. It's a delicate matter. Not something for light conversation. You saved my life aboard the Nautiloid. I'd never have expected that from a Gith. And since then, you've seemed reliable. Maybe I'll have to reevaluate what I think I know about your kind. You're not the kind of company I'd keep willingly, but all things considered, you'll do. I must admit, you've been a surprise, and not an unpleasant one. Kindred spirits are few and far between for me. Besides, you saved my life aboard the Nautiloid. How can I do anything but sing your praises? I don't think I've ever had a confidant quite like you. And if I have, I can't remember them. Must we? No harm in a little mystery, don't you think? I should hope not. Have you ever heard the people who want to talk about themselves? I'm doing you a favor. Sweet of you, but don't worry. I'm sure you'll get to know me just fine by traveling together. No need for interrogations just yet. Thank you. I'm sure we'll get along perfectly well. Say for a moment that I was. Do you think your blunt approach would get me to confess? Good. I like you. And you did save my life. I wouldn't want to sour things between us. Not while we need each other. A shame you feel that way. Just don't expect me to entertain your questions if you won't respect my privacy. Easy is often less interesting. Besides, we've plenty of reason to rely on each other already. You can't confide in just anyone about a monster in your head. Conversation shouldn't be made. It should be grown. Let the seeds sprout in their own time. If you're sure. A shame. I thought we were doing well together. Perhaps I'll see you at camp. Farewell. All right. Some company wouldn't hurt on the road, especially if there's trouble.
Take hero.
I live. Vakith blesses me once more. Our paths cross again, Istik. I might call it fate, if I believed in it. Neither the Geich nor the crash have broken your spirit. Yes, you may still be of considerable use. The longer the parasite lives, the more of us it consumes. Together, we must find a crash. My people possess the cure for this infection. Come, our search begins. We've no time to waste.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Marcus, fisherman. Saw the crash. Came quick. Trying to help folk. Brains. Didn't see him coming. Woman. Beautiful. Couldn't look away. Went west. Others followed. Couldn't help themselves. Elf ran north, up the beach.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Ellie, fisherwoman, Ultra. No, upriver, too far. Chased elf, brains chased me.
Bloody doors! They can't hold forever. Come on! Why? Why won't you just open? Blessed Mother, smite the obstacles in my path. Blasted door, What? Stop! Not another step or I'll... Wait. It's you. You're the one who tried to free me on the ship. At least, you made the effort.
Suddenly you see what she sees, feel what she feels. Confusion, resolve, and a hint of gratitude.
Ah! Did you feel that? You've got the same thing I do. In your head. Come on. The chase through hell? The creatures? What they did to us? The tadpoles? The same. It must be that tadpole they put in our eyes. I assume that's what caused our minds to cross. Yes, and they put a tadpole in my eye, too. I assume that's what caused our minds to cross. But that's the least of our problems. These things are going to consume us from the inside and turn us into mind flayers. Wait. You're the one who left me to die on the ship.
Suddenly you see what she sees, feel what she feels. Anger, bitterness, a will to survive.
Ah! Did you feel that? You've got the same thing. In your head. It excuses. You didn't even try. You just ran. You know, you looked me right in the eyes, then ran. No matter. We survived the hells, survived the crash.
But we mightn't survive these things in our heads. They're going to consume us from the inside and turn us into mind flayers.
If I were to guess, the things they put in our eyes, we'll need to find a healer to help us. But first, we'll need to survive the wilderness. I'd hoped there might be useful supplies through here, but no luck getting in so far.
I don't know much, but enough to be afraid. This is how they breed. We host their spawn, and once they're ready, they'll tear right through us. Sure enough. This is how the Mind Flayers breed. We host their spawn, and once they're ready, they'll tear right through us. I wish I was being dramatic. This is how the Mind Flayers breed. We host their spawn, and once they're ready, they'll tear right through us.
Be my guest, but that door's too strong. Maybe there's another way, up the cliff. Hopefully there's no more of these things. I was thinking the same thing. Around the top of this cliff, perhaps. It already has. These things here didn't die in their sleep. By all means. Conjure ahead.
Apart from my pod, remember? I'm grateful for the effort, but you should save your strength.
I'm going to see what's at the top of this cliff. Hopefully there's no more of these creatures along the way. I might have considered it, but your choice of company so far leaves a great deal to be desired. Get rid of the Gith, then we can talk about helping each other.
I offer you cleansing. You'd cast it aside for this Shkaketh.
Her kind can't be trusted. They just tried to kill us aboard that ship, after all. Must there? You wouldn't expect a wolf and a deer to find a way to work together. She'll turn on you. You'll see.
Your loyalty is noted, but not commended.
Fine. Put your faith in a marauding freak. Just do it away from me. Go on then. Just don't be surprised when your friend turns on you.
I heard you. So now hear me. Raise a single hand against me, and I will slice it clean off.
Save your breath. I'm going nowhere with you as long as you have that Gith in tow. Perhaps I'll find your corpse by the road. This is a terrible idea. But I suppose there is some sense in what you say.
This one is trouble. Watch your back, as she's likely to stab it.
I'll keep an eye on the Gith. You can call me Shadowheart. For now. But I'd rather get out of here than keep testing my mettle against these things. Or just company for our final moments. But you're right. Whatever lies ahead will be a little less daunting with support. No, unless you count these monsters. You're the friendliest face so far. Likewise. Try killing a couple of these monsters before you die. Lessens the load for me. After everything you've been through, my name gives you pause. Please. That is none of your business. I suggest we concentrate on surviving. Very little. Supposedly, those monsters breed by planting their tadpoles in people's heads. Over time, the infected victim turns into a mind flayer. I don't remember how long it takes, but we should hurry. Perhaps we'll meet again. If you survive, that is.
Lead the way. Lead the way.
I'm not too hopeful that a Gith crash will actually prove our salvation, but worth keeping in mind. We go our separate ways, of course. What else? The ties that bind would be well and truly severed. If you must know, Baldur's Gate. We were brought together by circumstance. Besides, I have my own people in Baldur's Gate. And before you ask, no. I'm not telling you what I'm doing there, or who I'm meeting, or anything else. You pry too much. Any further and you'll regret it. Understand? So that's to say you'd like to pry a little. You do seem like the type, I must say. Just an observation, no offense taken. See, we're learning something about each other already. For instance, you're a quick-to-anger type, aren't you? Even less self-control than brains. Ha! There it is. Oh, don't pout, you walked right into that. And there's no harm in a little hot-bloodedness. No harm at all, in fact. Nor are you mine, as it stands. Don't get too ahead of yourself. I'm just having a little fun. But who's to say? I might need a distraction some evening. These campsites do get cold. I suppose. I also suppose I'll have to rely on myself to stave off boredom. Was there something else? Me? I'm not hiding anything. I'm merely sharing as much as you deserve to know. And right now, you've reached your limit. Let's talk about something else. Inquisitive, looking for connection. It's every man for himself, and you're looking to make friends. Admirable, I suppose. Or desperate. I'm not quite sure. Oh, I think you'll find that I am. Knowing what makes people tick is a skill of mine. If you want something from a person, you need to know when and where to squeeze. My, look at you. Straight as an arrow and right to the point every time. This isn't the tadpole I'm speaking to, is it? The personality seems a little lacking. That's all you're entitled to, for now. Our parasite problem doesn't make you my confidant. And that's the vessel you chose. I jest. It's good to know you're not entirely without a sense of humor. Shall we? And I've revealed all I'm willing to. At least for now. Now I suggest you let matters rest. Or else we'd better part ways. Oh, don't worry. I'm learning about you with each passing moment. If you're sure. As you like. Perhaps I'll see you at camp. I won't pretend I'm disappointed. Your company is... Never mind. See you at camp, perhaps. Fine. I'll be here whenever you rediscover your taste in company. All right. Some company wouldn't hurt on the road, especially if there's trouble. I'd join you, but things are looking a tad crowded. You'll need to make room for me. Your dance card is full. Lose a partner, and there'll be room for me. It seems like you have ample company already. You'll need to figure out who you can live without before I can join. Whenever you're ready. Later then. Wonderful. I was beginning to feel a little left out. Lead the way then. I suppose this affords me a little alone time. Until later then. See you at camp then. If you insist. Don't have all the fun without me.
Shadowheart. Shadowheart. I'm sure her parents meant well, but the name's a little ominous, isn't it? Unless she chose it herself. Which is even more worrying, honestly.
Beneath her forbidding countenance, I sense this cleric will prove quite the companion. A wise decision to let her join us.
Mark my word, the half-elf's an abyss of lies and secrets. Shadowheart indeed.
What is it? What do you want? What? Something the matter? All's well, I hope? Aside from the obvious. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad to have some company on this journey. Almost pleasant traveling with company. If you ignore all the less pleasant aspects. You're making me regret my decision to join you. Sharpen up, or we're done. You clearly haven't learned. Keep it up, and I'm gone. Last warning, I gave you chances. More than I should have. And you threw them in my face. This is where we part ways.
More of those wretched things.
More of the Mind Flayer's pets.
Better stay back. One strike could be lethal.
You fight well. Perhaps our survival isn't such a distant prospect.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Francis. Merchant. Selling pottery. Guiding my cart. Shadow fell. Tentacle grabbed me. Took me here. Put something in my eye. No. Took everyone. Peasants. Lords. Took them all. find healer, or die, it'll leave. Fire, screaming, then crunch, nothing. They took me, took everything. Let them come. Too late now. Not from your cursed god. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
The River Chionthar. I'd know those clear waters anywhere. Those tentacles look nasty. One hit, and it's over.
It's a pleasant change from rivers of blood. Can't let these things escape the wreckage.
A mighty river. There's bound to be settlements along its shores. Intellect of ours. A thinking man's worst nightmare.
There's bound to be a settlement somewhere along this river. Vicious filth. Best keep some distance, or this'll be a short fight.
Fresh water. There will be a settlement near. Lucere is gone. His spirit now swims the astral sea. Gate devourers. One strike could prove lethal.
Running water normally burns like acid, but now, who knows?
Is this a good idea, you wonder? You and Shadowheart have a certain rapport, but is it strong enough to weather such a revelation?
Hells. Why can't I just have normal, boring companions? I should be grateful you told me, at least. So, a vampire spawn. Is my throat safe? That's good enough for me. True. Your proclivities might not matter at all soon enough, if we don't find a cure. Well, let's hope he keeps his distance. Well, the truth's out now in either case. Did you want something else? You have a faraway look on your face, Astarion. Did you forget what you were going to say? Happens to the best of us.
Wicked little beasts. They'll down you in one strike.